You guys have seen me in a while. I have been traveling, doing a lot of traveling, so I have been slacking, so please forgive me. But I just recently got back from Jamaica with a girls trip. It was a really large group of us that went. We had a blast. So I have a video on that, but I also wanted to do another video for you guys to let you know all the things you need to know prior to coming to Jamaica, while you're in Jamaica, and leaving Jamaica, what the requirements are. So without further ado, please stay tuned and keep on watching. So the first thing, before you even come to Jamaica, you have to take a COVID test within 72 hours of the last leg. So if you have a layover, whatever that last flight is, it has to be within 72 hours of that time period. So I took my test at CVS. I did a PCR test. It came back within 24 hours. So I recommend potentially you could set up different tests. So I had set up a rapid test just to be on the safe side in case I didn't get my results within those 72 hours. You can do that as well. Or you could go to, I know Walgreens has a rapid test that you could take as well, but I did CVS and I didn't have any issues. My test was accepted. No problems on that front. So before you come to Jamaica, you want to make sure you have the correct test. So if you go to visitjamaica.com, they have outlined every test that's that you're required to take. So on there it says the PCR or the antigen test. Those are the only two tests that they accept. So make sure you go to visitjamaica.com to make sure that you're having it, because I would hate for you guys to be turned around at the airport. So when I got to the airport, I flew JetBlue going down. So with JetBlue, I printed out my PCR test from CVS. That way I wouldn't have to log on to. So I definitely recommend printing out the test results. That way you won't have to keep logging in to see what the results are, because you're going to have to keep showing it. So print out the test results. So once I got to the airport, they checked my passport, they checked my COVID results, and they checked the travel authorization form. So Jamaica also requires you to complete a travel authorization form, and that is completed within 7 days of your travel. So that is also be completed within the visitjamaica.com. You will complete it on there, and they will give you this piece of paper saying that you are required to stay in resilient corridors, and I'll touch on that briefly later in this video. But basically you'll have that piece of paper. So I printed that as well, my COVID test, and I always have my passport on handy. So those are the things that you need to do. Also, Jamaica has curfew hours. So Jamaica, when we went, I went like last week, the curfew restrictions were a little later, so it's at 11 p.m. Now, because the cases are starting to rise again, it's now 8 p.m. for Jamaica. I know. It doesn't mean that you can't go out, like you just can't be outside of your resort within the 8 p.m. time frame. So most of the activities we did after curfew, or you were on your resort. So the resort that you stay at will have different activities. So just be mindful if you decide to do an Airbnb. It is a curfew, so you might want to try a resort instead, because they'll have activities. You'll be around other people. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, let me see. I have notes for you guys. I forgot to mention. So on the visitjamaica.com website, they also have this handy COVID timeline calculator that you can go and see. So you'll put in the dates that you're traveling, and it'll tell you how soon you could take your COVID test. So I thought that was pretty cool. I touched on the COVID travel authorization form. So the curfew is from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. On the weekdays, and on Sunday and holidays is from 3 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's like 3 p.m. Like, what the heck? That is too early, but I get it. It's an island, and they don't want the the cases to skyrocket. So just be mindful that Jamaica does have a curfew. Be mindful, guys. Also, Jamaica has a quarantine. Even if you have taken the PCR test and the COVID test, it's still a curfew. So this is mainly if you decided, oh, hey, I want to go to a public gathering like a wedding, or I want to go to a festival or something like that. That's when that quarantine is in place. So if you have been fully vaccinated, the quarantine is 8 days. So you have to wait 8 days before you can fully move freely without any restrictions in Jamaica. And if you're unvaccinated, it's 14 days. So if you don't want to do the quarantine, you will have to stay in those resilient corridor areas. That so basically Jamaica outlined, like, it's most of the postal, like the outskirts of Jamaica that is considered the resilient corridor. This is also found in the visitjamaica.com. It's also there. I will have everything linked below, but basically it will outline all the different places that you are able to move freely. So if you don't want to stay in those resilient corridors, you have to abide by Jamaica's quarantine. Also, airline requirements. So JetBlue, I flew going down. It was no requirements. You just had to show the printed COVID test results and your passport and stuff like that. But some airlines require that you upload your negative test results. I didn't have to do it. I flew JetBlue and Delta. I didn't have to do it with them, but you can upload some of that stuff. I think American Airlines or Spirit is one of them. So you just want to be sure you're checking your airline to make sure whatever additional requirements that they have, you want to make sure that you're abiding by that, because I would hate for you to get to the airport and you cannot come back or you can't go. So I'm trying to save you guys the headache. Make sure you're checking all of that. Also, coming back, you have to take a COVID test to come back into the U.S. So the resort I stayed in the Grill. So the resort I stayed at, they offered the test at the resort. So you want to be mindful if you're staying at an Airbnb or somewhere or with family or something like that. You want to be mindful that you have to take the COVID test coming back. They do offer it at the airport as well. So you just want to be mindful. And that has to be within 72 hours. So at our hotel, we had a rapid test. So I took it the day before, got the results back a couple of hours later. So just be mindful. Also, I wanted to say the Mobay, I think it's called, fast track. So if you do not want to stand in line, so when I got to Jamaica, the line for customs and immigration was long. I almost missed my bus, the shuttle bus that was scheduled. So if you don't want to have to wait in the line, I definitely recommend the Mobay fast track. So if I was ever to come back to Jamaica, I will be using that service. Basically, they will meet you at the flight. They will get you through the line and everything, and you don't have to wait. So I recommend looking into Mobay. I don't really know too much about it, but I just happened to see it when I was there. I was like, oh, I will be getting that next time. I like a little expedient. Love that. Also, I want to mention transportation. So I use Nexus shuttle service. You might want to consider getting a shuttle service or a taxi service prior to coming. That way you won't have to worry about that. And to make sure you're abiding by Jamaica's rules and laws that they got, because of COVID. So you might want to get your shuttle stuff already set up. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be doing more videos. So the next video I think I'm gonna do is a savings video. So I'm trying to get on my savings thing. So that might be the next video, and I might try to do like a travel series. So I have some more trips planned, so please stay tuned. So I might be doing maybe like pack with me, or how I secure like different flights for. So just if you want to see some of those things, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.